So after the disastrous quench of the katana, I have now straightened it out. Today I'm going to make this Damascus chef knife. So I'm starting off with a 16 layer billet, put that in the forge. I think what I'll do on this video is maybe show you how I use the press to make billets now and to make Damascus, because since I've built that press it kind of does nearly everything now. It's almost coming up to a year now since I started making knives full time, and making this press was, you know, I thought I've got to do this. If I'm going to go forward making Damascus and San Mais and things like that, I've got to speed up this process, because doing it by hand is just not commercial. And so on the last video I asked for a couple of patterns for this chef knife, a few suggestions. There was a raindrop pattern, a couple of you guys said raindrop pattern, a couple of you guys said ladder pattern. Someone said twisted raindrop or ladder, can't remember. But things changed slightly between then and now, because looking through my billets that were on the bench that were just waiting for knives to be born out of them, I found this. Then that is the pattern I'm going to try and match on the chef knife. So I'm going to try and copy that, and I think for that layer count, 120, 30, 50, 80 layers, it should approach that. It should look very similar to that, a kind of really stretched out ladder. So that's what I'm going to do. But thanks for the suggestions anyway. Well, I'm doing 2 bars. It just saves time when I come to need another billet, because I will already have another 16 layer billet ready to work. Just saves gas, saves time. Doesn't take much longer to do 2 billets as it does 1 billet. So let's try and record when I'm meant to be recording today, eh? See how we go. So that'll be ready for the press now. A little bit more borax. So I'm not going to bother showing you working on both billets, because each one is identical to the other. So I always tap it together gently first on the anvil, just to push the layers together, and then it just initially goes just under these flattened dies and just pull the billet out a little bit. You could see that one of the layers just peeled off there slightly, but it welded back on straight away, so it wasn't a problem. And that's where it just pulled that little billet out to. And these are now the fullering dies I've changed to, and I'm actually being very gentle with these billets, because this press is more than capable of squashing that down to about 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters. And I've learned through experience of using this press that if you do that, you'll actually just destroy the steel. You just crack it to pieces and smash it to bits. So you've just got to you've got to learn how to use these machines and just be very gentle, and don't try and move too much steel at once, because it just results in disaster. And these are the combo dies, so there's one side as a flattener and the other's a fullering die, and that's like the 3rd pass and where it's pulled it out to. So on this pass I'll just pull it out even further, then put it back under the flattening die. And I think that is about it done. That is it. Bar drawn out. You get these billets cleaned up, and I'm going to try the old Graph diamond blade. And the thing I really liked about this diamond blade was the fact that it just wasn't bothered that was forging scale and like the toughest compound on earth. Can I just say, that is absolutely awesome. So there it is, cleaned up, and I've just gone over it with the, you know, one of the flappy sandy wheels. Didn't take much cleaning up really. Yeah, I like that disc. And there's the other billet, which I'm just going to leave for now. I'm just going to concentrate on this one. So there's a little over about 13 inches, and I'm going to cut it into 5. So the reason I put a line on one side is because on one side of this is 15N20, the other side is 1095. So I can go 1520, 1095, 1520, 1095. So that's a stack of 5, which gives me 80 layers. So after that, I'm now doing another cut and restack. So I've decided to do the 2. But before I switch the forge on, let's have some audibility. I don't suppose there's many people who want to watch almost that entire process again, step by step. I'll bring you back when I've drawn the billet out, and I'll show you the next step. And after that session, I've ended up with this. The spare bar is now 80 layer, and it's about roughly the same length as it was previously. It's maybe a little bit thinner, but not much, so there's not been too much loss to scale. This bar, I've forged it shorter because I wanted it thicker. And I've cut that in half, and now I'm going to put that one on that one, like that. Again, keeping the 1095, 15 and 20 layers intact, but I'm spinning it around because there's the bead of MIG weld. These are never good, these ends, you get sort of them welds on it. So what I will do is turn that around, and I've then got a clean end which will be the tip of the knife, and this will be the handle end. So I'm going to weld this back up now, put a spot on the back, spot on the front, and I'm going to cut some lines in this, and this is going to form the ladder pattern. So that's what I've done, and I've cut through each bar roughly a third and made sure the cuts are opposite each other, and we'll go and get that forged out now and get the actual knife profile into shape. So it's just coming up to temperature now, and I've made myself a couple of templates so I can just put the steel down and make sure I've got enough. So again, initially I'm just going to go over the anvil with this and hit it with a hammer and just push them 2 layers together. And I go right down the centre of the billet just to try and push out any borax. I think that handle might survive, if not I'll have to weld it back on, but back to the press now. So this first pass on the press, I've got the flattening and fluorine die on, and I'm just trying to pull the length out as much as I can really. Then I change dies here as well, and I start bringing the front down to kind of forge the tip. But if you see, the dies themselves aren't actually long enough. I do need to make a longer top die so I can push down further with it. So I've got my length now, albeit ½ an inch, and I'm just going to follow the blade out along the width now to get the depth I need at the heel of the knife. Yeah, so these dies are pushing the steel sideways now to draw the width in at the heel and along the length as well really, and on the handle. So I'm going to do some general shaping now on the anvil and try and pull the profile out so it's just slightly bigger than my template. So it pulls back up. And I keep putting the billet up to the template and just seeing where I need to move steel to in order to, you know, kind of match or just slightly oversize the template. Just going to check my width. Let me see where I am. And here the handle was set down slightly from a level line on the spine, so I'm just beating down on the handle in order to straighten the spine and handle up. We've got that. So I'm going to go back onto the press now and flatten everything out. And then I'm done. It's too thin now to start trying to forge tips in and messing around. You'll run a risk of causing cracks and delaminations. So it turns out I just wanted a little bit more width on the heel to be safe, so I just beat down on the edge and just to stretch it a little bit more, and to just forge in some of the actual bevel as well. It means less grinding at the end. Happy days, happy days. So that is it. It's been in muriatic acid for 2 or 3 hours and it's come out really nice and clean, just that bit there. Tub wasn't deep enough, but yeah, more than happy with that, more than happy with it. There's the profile on the blade. More than enough steel there, more than enough. I really don't forge down to actual size, because if anything goes wrong, the whole billet's wrecked. And I want that knife to be exactly that size, hence I formed the rough shape. It's 5.5 millimeters thick, so there's more than enough steel there to grind that all off and get down to a lovely clean steel. Take all the decarb off the surface, so I've got a good hardenable steel underneath. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me, because YouTube doesn't. Right guys, we'll see you quite soon. I'm going to call it quits for now. Got loads and loads of footage on this. I'll pick the best of it out, try and keep it interesting, but the next video will be surface grinding this, cleaning it up, heat treating it and putting the handle on, and then we're done, and we'll see what the pattern reveals in the etch. Alright guys, bye for now.